I've been asked to do a video and to share with you what does it look like when an inner child has been healed. And there are many different things that would give you an understanding of what a healed inner child looks like. So, once you are able to set healthy boundaries and maintain those healthy boundaries, because the wounded inner child would want to deny themselves healthy boundaries. The wounded inner child would do anything for anyone just to have a sense of approval or being seen as being kind and liked and all that sort of stuff. So once you are able to set healthy boundaries and maintain healthy boundaries, once you are able to give yourself the opportunity to really understand that the importance of those healthy boundaries is a form of taking really good care of yourself. When you are able to self-regulate, when you are able to regulate your emotions and take accountability for how you're feeling and having the ability to express yourself wholeheartedly without getting overly emotional or without getting overly confrontational, that's a good indication. That's a really, really good sign that you've been able to, you've made a breakthrough with being able to be calm, collected, and balanced without denying yourself. If you've been upset, so you are able to express, I'm upset about that, instead of having a temper tantrum, or without having a breakdown of some sorts. And if a breakdown is what is needed, you can do the breakdown without projecting any of the unresolved energy or emotion to the other person. So a healed inner child, you are able to self-regulate, you are able to have difficult conversations without getting overly emotional. Then having healthy coping mechanisms, not running off to go and have whatever your coping mechanism was. And I'm not going to mention any of the stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Coping mechanism shows up in different forms or different ways for different people. It may have been drugs, alcohol, whatever that coping mechanism was. That you are no longer having to use those things as a way of coping. Yeah. And that you have taken accountability and responsibility for paying attention to what your true needs are, instead of trying to smokescreen it with all the other things that one would turn to, be it pornography, be it gambling, be it drugs, be it alcohol, be it any of that stuff. You will have the ability to understand what you need and no longer have to go to those coping mechanisms, those very toxic coping mechanisms. You'd be able to do and keep your basic daily rituals. Oftentimes when we have a wounded inner child, we become like children. You tend to avoid doing the things that you need to do. You tend to, like, throwing a tantrum. Do you know what I mean? And that in throwing that tantrum, sabotaging yourself and just going, oh, I'm not going to do it. And then you end up creating this mountain of anxiety, unnecessary anxiety, and then you may react and respond badly to it. So a healed inner child, you are able to set goals, to achieve those goals without breaking yourself. The wounded inner child will oftentimes go out of their way to be massively successful, to prove to the people that had wounded them that I am deserving, I'm worthy, I'm deserving, and I've outperformed you. So a regulated inner child means that you have the ability to go do all those things anyway, but without going back to those coping mechanisms and without denying your needs. So how do I even, so the healed inner child would also have the ability to balance their needs, they would be able to no longer have a need to do avoidance. That patterns of avoidance of where you wouldn't rather not go do something because you're super scared of who's going to be there, what are they going to think, what are they going to say, everybody's looking at me. So the moment you are able to go to places and not overthink and get into that trap of feeling panicked or feeling riddled with anxiety, in other words, your self-confidence has returned, and in that return of your self-confidence, or you are building a relationship with what a self-confident individual would look like and what it would feel like. And initially, it's going to feel like you're having to fake it. And to some extent, you'd have to, in order for you to retrain your brain and literally go, I am no longer that 7-year-old or that 9-year-old or that 10-year-old. Nobody can treat me that way anymore. And the moment you've taken back your power in that way, you will have the ability to do certain things that you wouldn't have been able to do before. And, in doing what you love, giving yourself permission to have a creative outlet. Learn to play the guitar. Go take that piano class. It doesn't matter if you are 62 years old. It doesn't matter if you are 24 years old. If you've wanted to learn how to play the piano or go play the guitar, and that inner child of yours would like, well, I'm not going to be good enough. No. Go take up those classes. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yes, it's going to sound terrible initially, but like anything else, the instrument will always have compassion for the player. Let that sing. The instrument will always have compassion for the player. So the instrument will only play as well as the individual playing it. Yes, you're going to be bad initially, but with practice, boy, oh boy, you can get really good. And the healed inner child will not give up. The healed inner child will be consistently and persistently showing up to his or herself. That yes, it feels uncomfortable, but I really want to do this. And I'm old enough now to self-regulate and going, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yes, it's going to be painful. And it's going to sound shocking, but with practice, I'll get better. And once you start doing that, not only will you start feeling proud, not only will you start being able to see what you've achieved and how far you have come, and to know that you are doing these things for self is what is most important. The healed inner child can also ask for help. Your inner child is healed when you have the ability to stop and ask for help, because the wounded inner child would want to go off and do things by themselves. I don't need anyone. That's the attitude. I don't need anyone. I don't rely on anyone. Nobody is dependable. That's the wounding. The wounding of the inner child would also be, you wouldn't ask for help because no one would be there to help you as a wounded child. And so as an adult, you became hyper independent. And in that hyper independence, you would shut people out because you didn't want to trust anyone. So a healed inner child will, the moment you know that you can ask for help, and help actually shows up, and that you are, I want to say, shocked that, oh my God, they did what they said that they were going to do. It's quite a breakthrough. It really is quite a breakthrough. And the healed inner child, the healed inner child would also have the ability to let love in. Where the wounded child they are amazing at doing this, covering their heart and keeping people at an arm's distance outside of them. The healed inner child has the ability to let love in. What does that look like? It looks like this. That you have a lover or you have a partner, and you've given yourself permission to be completely vulnerable. And for a wounded inner child, that's a big thing. That through that vulnerability, you can feel that the way in how you respond to this partner, or the way in how you show up to this partner, means that you've given yourself permission to not bleed on somebody who didn't cut you. That you are not bleeding or you are not hurting somebody with your words when they weren't the ones to hurt you. A healed inner child has the ability to self-regulate and to know that if I've been triggered, if somebody has hurt me, it is a trigger from my past. And when you have the ability to pinpoint it down to where it came from and how can you respond in a different way to this individual, this person, or a group of people, you'll be fine. You will very quickly start seeing that actually the healing and what I've done has been phenomenal. And I've come a very far way. And it's important for you to recognize how far you actually have come. The healed inner child, they have the ability, I want to say they have the ability to trust. Trust is a big thing. Trust is a major thing for a wounded child. And a wounded adult who's walking around with a wounded child. They have the ability to trust. They have the ability to trust wholeheartedly. And wholeheartedly takes a long time. It takes a while for you to be feeling safe and okay to trust someone. And the moment they do, and you'll know that your inner child is still sitting with a trust wound. When your partner says something and you're questioning them and yes, but what about this, and yes, what about that, that's when you know that trigger of trust is still not healed. And so how do you build trust? By just giving it. And that's a major risk. That's a really, really big risk. And that in giving yourself the opportunity to understand that when somebody breaks your trust, they have actually not wounded you. They've disappointed themselves. They have disappointed themselves. You are not the one who has broken the trust. They've broken trust and they are carrying the disappointment. It is no longer your duty to carry the person who has betrayed you's guilt for them. It's no longer your duty to try and make them feel better about the trust in how they have broken it. So the healed inner child will have the ability to trust people and have the ability to stand back when somebody has betrayed them, to not take it personal, to literally just go, they've lost out on somebody really amazing, because at this stage you're going to be really fucking amazing, by the way. At this stage, there's a lot that you've learned about yourself and a lot of hard work that you've done and a lot of things that you've been able to put into perspective. You're going to be okay. Not only are you already okay, you are in fact loved, and you can feel it. You are deserving of love because you let it in. You are lovable. You are lovable. You are capable of love. You have the ability to share that love and to let love in. You have come a far way, and I need you to acknowledge that. I need you to see that all the work and what you've done has really paid off. You've done exceptionally well. So be kind to yourself and acknowledge how far you have come.